Hello everyone, I'm Tucker Carlson and I'm here in the Kremlin, Moscow, to interview President Putin about his experience playing survival games. Putin is known as a tactician and strategist with a reputation for excelling in combat. He's even rumored to have tamed a bear to serve as his guard dog. I strongly believe that his real-life experience translates greatly into his gaming experience. Thus, I'm eager to gain some insight into his gaming experience and discover which survival game he enjoys the most. Thank you, President Putin, for giving me this opportunity to interview you. I'd like to start by asking if there's any particular survival game that you enjoy, and are there any other titles that you play regularly?
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. So, I'd like to take this opportunity to share my experience while playing a particularly amazing survival game called DayZ. I'm not sure if you've heard about it before. So, I logged into DayZ to play on Namalsk, a pretty challenging map that really requires a lot of prep due to the low temperature and scarce resources. By the way, did you know that the main town on the spawn island is called Vorkuta? It's actually a real town just north of the Arctic Circle in Russia, founded in January 1936 after the discovery of substantial coal fields by Georgy Chernov. Anyway, I stumbled upon a group of players while roaming around. At first, I didn't think much of it, but I decided to stick around, hoping for some opportunities to gain something out of that. We set up a small camp at the coast where we had fire and food, and one guy was even fishing. Someone managed to catch an alligator or some other big sea creature. Then we decided to make a bold move and head to a refugee camp for better loot. It made sense to stick together. If one dies, there is a higher chance that you might live. After all, in DayZ, it's every person for themselves. The loot at the refugee camp wasn't too shabby, but we didn't linger. We had to keep moving. As we made our way towards the outskirts, my tactical instincts kicked in, and I warned the others to keep an eye out for any signs of danger, like smoke at the chimney that might be indicating enemies. Turns out there were some guys completely oblivious to our presence in one of the houses. They tried to be smart by setting a bear trap, but being a hunter, I knew what to expect on the battlefield. I tried to flank them, but I missed my shot. It happens with the old Mosin rifle, which has been in service since 1891. Nonetheless, we managed to take them down. With a mighty ultra-precise shot, taking into consideration the poor quality of my rifle, I landed a lethal blow. Then we claimed what was rightfully ours and waited until the anomaly finished. In Namalsk, there's another noteworthy feature. Anomalies serve as an indication of a portal opening, which can transport you to a hidden secret research lab. However, accessing it requires advanced armor capable of protecting you from tank rockets. I doubt there's anything quite like that in the games you're playing, Carlson, so I won't delve into too much detail about it. I'd rather you discover it yourself. After leaving the outskirts, only 4 of us remained. I'm not sure what happened to the others, but their fate doesn't concern me much. All I know is there was this annoying kid in our group. Well, he was a good kid after all. We made it through the passage between the islands and headed towards the hospitals on the other side. We weren't fooling around. In fact, we were doing everything we could to attract attention. We shot down all the zombies because we weren't afraid. They should be afraid of us. Yes, we found some basic meds and other supplies to replenish our stock and continued on. Eventually, we reached a construction site and decided to take a break to rest and regroup.
Okay.
One of our guys had been bitten by zombies, so we tended to his wounds and took the opportunity to eat and exchange ammunition. It's all part of survival. You have to understand that. Then, unexpectedly, the wounded guy, he suddenly blew himself up. It was a flash grenade, but given his injuries, it was enough to kill him. We were all in shock. Nobody saw it coming. But as the leader, I took on the responsibility of guiding us through this harsh terrain.
All right, I see. That's very interesting. But are there any other games that you play?
Mr. Carlson, I thought you wanted to have a serious conversation about survival games, so please, let me finish. So we kept going. Running and running, occasionally taking shots at the infected. We decided to take another break to regroup and replenish our supplies. But you know, Carlson, this world is unforgiving. It doesn't just harm you physically through other survivors, zombies, infections, or famine. It gets to you mentally, eating away at your mind, rotting you from the inside out. The situation became too much for one of our companions.
Everything is wrong.
She expressed a desire to end it all.
I, I have to go to work tomorrow from 8 till 9 p.m.
And despite our efforts to convince her otherwise, she chose to take her own life.
I love you guys.
No.
Some might say the situation became easier after that, as it became clear that we didn't have to share loot or food anymore. So, we pressed on. But then we lost the young member of our group. He vanished. This serves as a reminder that being a good survivor isn't just about physical prowess. You also need to be a skilled navigator, aware of your surroundings with eyes everywhere. Some excel in one aspect but falter in another. To survive, you need to excel in all. My remaining companions suggested we check out another nearby military compound. It seemed like a good idea, especially with wolves on our tail. Perhaps it was an opportunity to seek refuge in one of the barracks. We made our way through the compound, scrounging for loot, but found nothing particularly noteworthy. After taking a moment to check our backpacks and make repairs, we made our exit. However, we were ambushed unexpectedly by hostile, well-equipped survivors. My companion didn't make it. In the heat of the moment, I dashed back to the barracks. But peace wasn't on their agenda, so I had to think fast. I tossed a grenade, unaware that they had done the same. I fell victim to the blast of their grenade. Well, it won't come as a surprise, but a few hours later, I returned to the area armed with my AK, ready to unleash a barrage of 5.45 39mm rounds on them. They all died a painful death. Unfortunately, my recording app crashed at that moment. I hope you understand. You see, Carlson, this is a game unlike any other. It teaches you about survival, friendship, and combat. I highly recommend you give it a try one day. Just know, it won't be easy, but you will learn how to survive.
Well, thank you, President Putin, for this insightful interview. I'll go ahead and install DayZ now. Good night.